gentlemen!
Wee doggy!
Doggies, right, you gotta get your wee doggies in there. How are all my wee doggies out there?
Wow, it's really good to see everybody.
I know.
And so, what an auspicious
I know, here we are
month.
on the longest night of the year.
Yes.
What are you going to do on the longest night of the year?
Well, but the reason why I'm really talking about that right this second is because solstice means an awful lot to both me and Glenn. It's our holiday that signifies how we are.
It's the deepest. It's the arc. It's peak feminine energy.
Yes.
So it's very, very, very important to Yolanda and I. This is peak. This is peak feminine, peak intuition. That kind of thing. I think that's where we live from.
And I'm feeling chills right now because this particular solstice is really incredibly important. I'm sure you've heard about it, but I just want to bring your attention that this is the closest conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn, December 21st, tomorrow. You can also see it tonight, in 800 years. So 800 years. Yeah. Now, Regina mentioned that this morning, I believe, and I was so thrilled that we're all kind of noticing it because this year has been full of celestial events, and
it really has.
It's sort of like since November, I've really been noticing like how many celestial portals are opening and how much information is being received here because, as we know, human consciousness is changing.
And the end of the year is my favorite part of the Course in Miracles lessons.
Yes.
I know that a lot of people's favorite part is the beginning, and the beginning was my favorite for a very, very, very long time.
It's so exciting because I love to
and I look forward to doing it again every year.
Yeah.
So if you want to start again, if you're going to do A Course in Miracles, start again. Start with us again. We do it every year, right? So lesson 354. We only have 11, very few days left to do. So, what is the journey that A Course in Miracles is taking us on? Well, she's stacking all these concepts that she's been throwing at us over 31 chapters for the past year, and the lessons get 2 sentences and 3 sentences long in this part. And she says the Course in Miracles lesson for 354 today is we. How's that? Most of the time in the whole, just gonna stop there. Most of the Course in Miracles lessons are about you, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm holy, and I'm my brother, me, my brother, me, and everything that the Holy Spirit or God. You're talking about not any longer. We stand together. Okay, we stand together. Who does that really sound like right now? What kind of what world does it that the Course there is a Course in Miracles lessons that begins we stand together. Christ and I, which is the one soul, which is what reality is, right? We stand together, Christ and I. Where?
In peace. And certainty of purpose.
Certainty of purpose. Okay.
Right.
Peace and certainty of purpose. We're going to talk about certainty of purpose today, right? And so why is at the end of the year now you're going to talk about certainty of purpose?
Well, I feel like I've gone through an awful lot.
Right. I think maybe some of us have a different sense of purpose now than we did from the beginning of the year. Do you think?
I think I do.
Okay.
All right. Well, it looks like
and in him is his creator, and he is in
me. Right.
There's the whole thing. There isn't an inside or an outside. There's only reality and not reality.
Yep.
In God is creator, and in God is me. Therefore, I am creating reality just like God is, but I have to let go.
But look what it says. My oneness with the Christ established me as your son, beyond the reach of time and wholly free of every law but yours.
I think that's a blessing.
It is. I have no self except the Christ in me. I love that a lot because there's a lot about identity.
I have no self, but the self,
Mm-hmm.
self in me, or but the Christ in me.
I love that.
What else? There's no other reality but the love that you are.
Exactly.
So we're going to build on those ideas.
Yeah. Let's go back to where you were. Oh, there we go. Thus must I be one with you as well as him. For who is Christ except your Son as you created him? And what am I except the Christ in me? What am I except the Christ in me?
What am I? What am I?
I love that.
What am I but the Christ in me? What am I but reality?
Well, you know, and here we go with
I feel
our
a song
sing-along.
coming on.
I do too, because the reality of this year for me has really been the wisdom of this particular lesson, which I'm going to share in song with you as a call
and you
and
know
a
the
response.
words, so sing it with us.
And yes, I have my new little instrument today.
I know.
My ukulele. We're going to try it.
Christmas gift from me.
Here we go. Let things be.
I let things be
exactly as they are.
Exactly as they are.
You can't change me.
You can't change me.
And you can't change God.
Because you can't change God.
So let things be.
I let things be
exactly as they are.
Exactly as they are.
And you and me.
So you and me
will live in peace.
We live in peace.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know
what anything is for.
What anything is for. Unless I listen to
that still small voice.
I have a still small voice
telling me.
It's telling me
this simple truth.
This simple truth.
That everything.
Everything.
Is for my good.
For my good.
So let things be.
I let things be
exactly as they are.
Exactly as they are.
You can't change me.
You can't change me.
You can't change
God. You can't change God.
So let things be.
Let things be
exactly as they are.
Exactly as they are.
And you and me.
And you and me
will live in peace.
We live in peace.
I'm not this body.
I'm not this body
that you see.
That you see.
I am as God.
I am as God.
Created me.
She created me.
And we are all one family.
One family.
And it's possible.
Yes, it's possible.
To live in peace.
We live in peace.
So let things be.
I let things be
exactly as they are.
Exactly as they are.
You can't change me.
You can't change me.
And you can't change God.
Because you can't change God.
Let things be.
Let things be
exactly as they are.
Exactly as they are.
You and me.
You and me
will live in peace.
Kumbaya. Because every hour needs a kumbaya moment. That's exactly right. Now, were you paying attention when it says, you can't change me?
And you can't change God.
Did that sound weird when you sang it? When you sang it, you can't change me? Did that seem like, oh man, I don't know. I think I need to change. There's some things that I should definitely change.
Well, just don't worry about it because it will
We're
change.
going to talk about why you want to be unchangeable.
Oh, interesting.
Like how to live from your unchanged self. Can you do that? Can you organize the concept in your brain to think there's part of you that doesn't change and doesn't need to change?
Right.
And how to live from that place, make decisions from that place, and have your identity come from that place. And of course, the Miracles Speak, they call that the new beginning. And that's chapter 30, right? Chapter 30 is the new beginning. Another thing you might want to consider is why is the new beginning chapter the second to the last chapter in A Course in Miracles?
Well, we are entering a new phase.
Well, because you should, she's giving you every reason to change your mind, right? About who you are and what you're doing and what you're for and all that. She's giving you every opportunity to change your mind. And if you've gone through the steps she's asked you to do, you've done lessons and you've looked and everything, you're ready for a new adventure.
Well, I am
all
certainly
fueled up
ready
and
for
ready
a
for a new adventure.
Well, I want to acknowledge that there are some people on a new adventure with us here today.
Yay!
Priscilla is so sweet. She put a sweet thing in the chat. Thank you very much. And we've got some new friends in the room. So I'm
the
just
land of Cindy's.
Thanking you very, very much. And, you know, now I'd like to move our attention into what I like to call the Circle of Love meditation,
where we do what this lesson is telling us to do.
Yeah.
Right?
And I would like to say that this lesson and the lesson of let things be exactly as they are have really, this meditation and the lesson of let things be exactly as they are has really changed my life this year. Because the practice of including everything that you like and everything that you don't like in your awareness of love is a really powerful thing. Just this week, I had a conversation with someone who was very, very upset about a friend of mine expressing themselves authentically. And I thought that was a very interesting conversation. And this person that I was having a conversation with was distraught.
At the presentation of someone else.
At the authentic expression of another person who is a friend of mine. And I happen to think these two things, let things be exactly as they are, and unconditional love accepts all that we like and all that we do not like, and that there are lessons to be learned from that which we do not like. And for me, 2020 has been about those lessons.
Well,
you know,
definitely looking square on at what you don't like. Looking, you know, having no other choice but to really look and be with what's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a gift.
It is.
It really is a.
It's been a gift to me.
It's a gift to choose to engage in what is uncomfortable. It's a real gift that those feelings and those ideas are trying to give us. We're uncomfortable because we haven't accepted the gift. And of course, miracles speak. They would say, accept the miracle.
So let's accept the miracle today and move into our meditation. It's actually a guided prayer, but I like to call it the Circle of Love meditation. And after that, when we move into the silence and we come into the first song I want to share with you, it is a brand new, what I think of as a solstice song. So what I've done is I've taken the old-fashioned gospel tune, Love Lifted Me, and I've changed the words just a little bit and to be more inclusive. And I've added a chant, a Sanskrit chant called Twa Meva Mata, Chapita Twa Meva. And it is a blessing of the Mother, Father, God. It's a celebration of, oh beloved, you are my mother and you are my father. You are my eternal divine guide. And this is my newest video and I want to share it here first with you. It's premiering tomorrow, but I really wanted to share this with you today because it includes images from our land that we've been blessed with this year, and also images of my mother who made all of that possible. So today we honor the divine feminine. So if you'll take 3 deep breaths with me, and the last breath, let's exhale on an Om. Shall we? Oh. The sacred sound of Om, the sacred sound of Mother, Father, God, sacred mystery, unconditional love, that which created us and all living things. We are here. We are here together, and we let this unconditional love bubble up inside of us and flow into our consciousness and our beingness and bubble out into the rooms where we're sitting and into our homes, our buildings, our apartment buildings, our streets, our cities, our towns, our country, and our world. And we acknowledge and recognize everything that we like about this life and everything that we do not like about this life. We know that we have the capacity to learn and grow from that which we do not like. So we celebrate it. We celebrate all that is, everything that is, and we allow it to be exactly as it is. In this celebration, we acknowledge that the land that we live on in America once belonged to the Native American peoples. And in our part of the world, that tribe is called the Lenape. And in our acknowledgement, we also acknowledge that Black Lives Matter and Black trans lives matter. And we acknowledge that human consciousness is shifting to create a world that is more inclusive for all of us on this planet. And so, as we celebrate all of this, we thank Mother, Father, God, and we know that we are all one.
Oh, beloved, you are mother and father. You are friend and companion. You are riches. You are wisdom. You are the eternal divine guide. Twa Meva mata, chapita Twa Meva. Twa Meva bandush, chasaka Twa Meva. Twa Meva vidya, dravinam Twa Meva. Twa Meva sarvam, mama deva deva. I was sinking in despair, far from the shore, feeling sorry for myself, sinking to rise no more. But the mighty Mama Deva heard my cry. From the waters lifted me, now safe am I. The could help, love lived in me. All my heart to love I give, ever to grace I'll sing. In this presence daily live, ever to faith I'll cling. Love so mighty and so true merits my soul's best songs. Faithful, loving service to all life belongs. Twa Meva mata, Chapita Twa Meva. Twa Meva Bandush, Chasaka Twa Meva. Twa Meva Vidya, Dravinam Twa Meva. Twa Meva Sarvam, Mama Deva Deva. Love lifted me, oh love lifted me. When nothing else could help, love lifted me. Twa love lifted me, oh love lifted me. When nothing else could help, love lifted me. Twa love lifted me, oh love lifted me. When nothing else could help, love lifted me.
Oh, thank you, everyone. I loved creating that song and that video. I've always loved that gospel tune, and when I found the blessing of the goddess, the Twa Meva, I just felt that it was right.
Have you ever sang that hymn before? Do you know the hymn? Does anybody else know that hymn? Well,
Yeah,
lifted me.
I'm sure most of us do. Yeah.
If you're raised below the Mason-Dixon line or spend any amount of your childhood going,
We're both from the South,
going
so
to a little white church in, whereverville, they open up the hymnal in the back of the pew,
and there we are.
I know.
We are so
written in our DNA.
It is written in our DNA. Glenn is literally the son of a preacher man, and I was raised in the church too. So here we are.
She fell in love with the man, with the
Celebrating
son of a
that.
preacher man.
I
So,
certainly
yeah.
did. The only boy who could ever reach me was the son of a preacher man. Yes,
he was.
The Sanskrit portion translation is what I said in English at the very beginning. The oh beloved, you are my mother and my father. You are my friend and companion. You are my eternal divine guide. And that's just one thing that I love so much about mantras, is that they just focus on the joy of being with sacred mystery. What I call God sacred mystery.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really, thank you for asking. Yes.
My oneness with Christ establishes me as your son.
It does.
My oneness with God establishes me as the child of God. Beyond the reach of
beyond the reach of time.
Beyond the reach of time. So what's beyond the reach of time?
Me.
Reality, right?
Me,
things
who I really am.
Things that don't change.
Things that don't change, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Wholly free. I'm not a body. I am wholly free of every law but God's. Everything that is not real has no power over me, has no ability to affect me at all, whether I want to or not. God establishes those rules. What are those rules? How does the universe work? And if we knew how it worked, or how we participate in it, how would that affect our experience?
Well, I think that's what we're learning together right here at Awakening Together.
I think that's what A Course in Miracles is all about, right?
Well, what's your topic today is a new beginning.
Right.
Tell us about that.
Well, I'll ask you again. It's like,
well, first of all, I want to say hi to George. Thanks for the message this morning, George.
Lovely.
We really enjoyed it.
So we're on chapter 30.
We are.
30. There are 31 chapters in A Course in Miracles. Basically, chapter 31 is a giant altar call. So you can like read that and like come. That's the chapter 31 is like, and it's like one chapter after another. That was like, okay, if you know this, you'll go out into the world and do it. Right? You know this. You have the ability and power to do everything that I've asked you to do. Go do it. Put the book down and go do it. That's chapter 31.
Yay!
But I have yet to learn everything the Course of Miracles has to teach me. So I haven't yet quite put the book down.
We keep doing it every year.
I do try to live it. I really do try to live it. So this is chapter 30. It's called A New Beginning. So after you've learned and experienced and set your mind with God's, God says, okay, you ready to start again?
New beginning.
And in Course in Miracles terms, it would be choose again.
Choose again, yes.
Right?
Yeah,
choose again. Or in another place it says, I choose the second place to gain the first.
That's what it does say.
What does that mean? How? So she's building on all of these ideas. This is the last real section in the Course in Miracles when she puts all these different concepts and themes together. And this section is called, and this is section 9 of chapter 30. So we are deep in the weeds of A Course in Miracles, and this is called the changeless reality. Okay, the introduction to A Course in Miracles gives you the definition of what reality is. So what's reality? Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. Wow. Right? So that's reality. So we're coming full circle. We've done a 360, not a 180, but we've done a 360. We are coming right back to where we have always been, because you're changeless, right? So what reality are we looking at? What is this changeless reality that we're promised is experienceable? The promise here is there is a reality and you can experience it. Why don't you? And maybe we are, right? But it's a deep idea. It's a deep moment. So I'd like to offer you two. She starts out with before we get into it's a pretty short lesson, but I want to give you two, but it's super deep. I'd like to offer you two metaphors or analogies. One is of a candle. right? Everybody knows what a candle is. It's a burning. It burns rope or something in a like a wax,
Sure.
thing. So what's happening with a candle?
Okay, this is where I got confused the last time you tried to use this metaphor. So, from my perspective, and what I would say in answer to that question is the fire is burning, the wick is burning the wax.
Okay, what do you call burning? What is burning?
Well, from my perspective, before you taught this lesson before,
We did this on Wednesday.
We have a Wednesday night class. If you want to join us, you certainly can. You were saying that the molecules, I think of fire as destroying whatever it consumes. However, you had a different perspective on it, and I would like for you to share that today, because I couldn't quite get it. But he can.
Fire is what we describe when one object loses oxygen to one molecule, when an oxygen molecule changes its nucleus.
Oh, okay.
The electron, an oxygen is going around. It's carbon and it's an oxygen molecule. The fire is burning oxygen. What we call burning oxygen is the transfer of an oxygen molecule from one molecule to another molecule. And we experience that as fire. The molecule wasn't destroyed. Fire didn't destroy it. Fire is the catalyst for the molecule jumping from the electron from one thing to another.
Okay.
That's what we call fire.
Okay, stop right there. Don't explain any further, because I get it now. And that is so interesting, because I've always thought of it as losing something, right?
The electron wasn't lost. It
Right.
didn't disappear. It didn't cease to exist.
But I didn't
Neither
think
did
of
the
that
candle,
before.
It just changed form.
It changed form.
It changes the way we interacted with it.
Interesting.
It changes the way we see it. Nothing was lost. Nothing was gained.
It was
But
just
that's
a
what we call fire.
transformation
of energy,
form?
of form. Yeah,
Form.
it's just a transformation of form. And think about this: fire and human beings both consume oxygen.
And that point being?
Well, we are doing the same thing fire is doing.
Oh.
We're taking in oxygen and we're using it, and we're using it to put into our bodies, and we're taking the oxygen out of the air, changing its form and putting it into liquid form, so we can carry it in our bodies and change it back into gaseous form to absorb it into a cell.
Wow, that's fascinating.
So
it's all about transformation.
Right. So do you lose oxygen? Does the world lose oxygen because you breathe?
Right.
Are you destroying oxygen every single time that you breathe because you use it to stay alive?
I guess not, but I've never thought about this. Have y'all ever thought about this? I haven't.
That's what the Course is trying to get us to understand about what a changeless reality is.
Okay. Wow.
What is changing and what is not changing.
Okay.
Okay. So the other metaphor,
form is changing.
Right. Form is changing, but there's something there that's not changing.
That's not changing. The essence of it.
Right.
Okay. All right. Continue.
The other metaphor I'd like you to use, I'd like you to think about is, have you ever been in the woods or like on the side of the road? You'll find an animal carcass, like a bird, just like a bird skulls or something like that, or you'll find a raccoon or something like that, just in the woods, and it's just like a Think about this. This is another way to think about it. Where did the dead bird go? Who made the bones?
Okay.
Who made the bird?
Who breathes the breather? Who breathes the
the bird created the bones that it lived in, that it flew in, and their arms and everything like that. But without that bird living in it, it turned back into bones. Without something living in it, it changed its form, and now is going back into the basic elements. So what is the bird? Is the bird the body? Is the bird the bones and all of those things? Or is the bird something else? Something that doesn't change.
Right. I'm getting where you're going now. I am. It's more, yeah, it's more clear to me now.
So
okay.
With that metaphor, you got a dead bird and a candle in your head now. Okay.
Great. Lovely. Let's see what we can do with that. But first, I want to point out that there's some interesting things that Arizona and people have. George says you're breathing the same air as dinosaurs.
Right, exactly.
Cindy says there is no death, the Son of God is free. Yes, absolutely. And then Dawn said, I have thought about oxygen running out if I'm trapped in an elevator. And Arizona said that too when she was visiting us in New York City in an elevator that could only fit 2 people, right?
There's some really small elevators in New York City. It also might feel like you're dying and you're not. So that's another part of this lesson is examining. We've been looking at this for like 3 or 4 weeks now. Really examining cause.
Yeah, cause and effect.
What's doing the thing that you like? What's doing the thing that you don't like? What is the actual cause, not the symptom? Because we're mostly monitoring symptoms. We mostly look at it and want to restrict and corral
bodies through space.
but conditions and not causes.
Right, conditions. Yeah.
Right.
It's hard to get.
I know we want to work on the bird body and not on the bird.
Okay.
So.
Which is another gift that 2020 has showed us. Like if we are open to seeing
what's the cause of your happiness?
What's the cause? Yeah.
Where did Where does
I'm sorry.
No. It's really good. So she gets to chapter 30, and we work through chapter 30. Chapter 30 is in my nerdy kind of way I like to do A Course in Miracles. Chapter 30 is a lot about how groups make decisions to solve large problems that a lot of us have, like racism and sexism and transphobia and the environment and how large groups do this. And one of the ways that we fail to solve problems that we want to solve is because we're trying to manage symptoms and we don't look at causes. Is because we don't want to look at what is real. We want to somehow manage the effects. We want to say fire is destroying. No, it doesn't. It changes things. It changes elements from one condition to another condition. That's all. So what is the problem? The problem isn't fire. The problem is that it's changing form in a way that we don't want it to. It could be anything. Because you have a fire in your belly, right? When you digest stuff, you use all these other organisms to digest your food, right?
I didn't think about that either. That's interesting. Yeah.
Everything that lives requires
fire.
It requires fire and warmth and stuff like that. So what's real? What is real? What's making that thing heat up? What's making you warm?
Ooh.
You can go all the way back as far as you want to with this.
Life force energy.
The life force energy. What's life force energy?
Mother, Father, God.
Mother, Father, God. What's Mother, Father, God?
Sacred mystery.
What's sacred mystery?
All that is what we're made of.
Yeah.
I love it.
I know. So with those are things, because think about this, reality doesn't change, and that from the beginning of A Course in Miracles, and it is now reality as the way we're defining it is something that doesn't change.
Okay.
So there is what we do a lot of, especially in groups, is manage loss. The loss of money, loss of time, loss of energy, loss of patience, loss of acuity. I need to lose some weight. We're always managing so much in large groups and in our own lives. We think our job is to manage loss or to mitigate loss. And this comes from the very basic fear that if material things change in ways that I don't understand or I don't appreciate, then it's suffering. When material existence changes in a way that I don't understand or I don't want, I call that suffering.
Right. Which leads me back to my circle of love meditation, because That's
we need to look at what you don't like.
Yeah, we need to look at it. Yeah.
And why that's threatening.
Mm-hmm.
Or if it's threatening. I mean, I'm not putting words into your mouth.
Right.
So think about when we're doing this idea of being in a changeless reality and this idea of beginning again. Think again about this idea of cause and effect, and especially in larger groups that we're doing here. We're trying to be the real thing, right? We're trying to be on the other side of that. We're trying to be an effective cause, aren't we? We're trying to occupy the place of cause, identify with God, identify with what is true. We want to, and we're trying to be cause in the world, trying to exist as something that makes things happen. Right.
Well, we do, yeah.
Right.
We do exist that way, actually.
So
yeah.
The idols, and again, she's bringing in the case of, do you remember what idols are?
Yeah.
I'm gonna remind you.
She uses so many terms that sometimes I forget.
Idols are the promise that something will be better than love. Is the promise that is the substitute for love. Is the promise that goes, oh, I can't have love, or love is too hard to get and rare. You know, that I'm going to substitute something else for it.
Got it.
You know, that's an idol. The idol promises that this is just as good, just as good. You know, it's this a sweet low of reality. That's how I always kind of think of it. Now I want love. I don't want sweet and low love. I want love. I want the real. I want the real thing. Love. So this idol is what groups and individuals do when we say, no, I can't tackle the source of the problem. I want to go after and create an institution or whatever to solve the problem. I mean, to solve the effects of the symptoms of it. You could also think about this idea as a favorite fear, what you love to be afraid of, what you keep going back to be frightened by. You could call it your favorite idol, right? Your favorite, like a lot of people say, you know, I'm always struggling with money. You know, or I'm always struggling with fidelity, or I'm always struggling with lying, or I'm always struggling with, you know, whatever. It's your favorite thing. It could be any addiction. It could be people, all kinds of things. Our favorite ways in which we want things to be different in form, not in substance, but in form. We want things to be different because we can fulfill the promise that it's going to be better. What's up?
Teacher. I have something to say.
What do you have?
No, just that the preoccupation with you know, your favorite fear.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, that has plagued me.
Twitter.
His
favorite. But my idol, you know, is thinking,
yeah, and mine was financial, like for all of these many years, and finally I was able to let it go.
These idols we can let go of.
We can.
But how we let go of them is to really look at them.
Yes,
right.
That's what
it's like say, this doesn't work. This isn't working. And so if you're willing to look at what doesn't work, even what doesn't work points to what does. Being in the present moment. Why is it so difficult to be in the present moment? It is certainly difficult to be in the present moment if you have to manage material objects through space so you're okay. You know, the condition of everything, the condition of your hair and the shirts and the pressing and the shoes and
other people,
managing other people. Everything's got to be a certain way before you're happy. And it's always a material outpouring. It's always like what it looks, and what I call performing culture. Right? You perform, you dress in a way and say things in a way and walk in a way to give people an indication of how to treat you. We're always doing that, right? We wear makeup. I wear glasses. I have a hat with a little thing on it. You know, I'm doing it all on purpose because I want you to react a certain way to me that I'm creating for you to react against.
Why is it against?
Again, I'm performing and you're reacting against it, not in opposition.
Okay, so you're talking about this performance of culture as being sort of a naturally occurring thing that we do.
And it's perfect. It's about self-expression and authenticity and creativity, all kinds of this stuff. And this stuff is not bad, but it is if you have to have it that way.
Okay, there's the caveat.
If this isn't fun and it has to be this way, and we're gonna double down on all of this, that can be kind of a problem. It could be a problem for groups, inside and outside groups, canceling, and all this comes from this idea. So to make sure that everybody in our in-group or out-group is performing culture in a particular way that we want to, that we agree with.
That's very difficult.
It is. But what's this? Okay, we recognize that as a difficulty. Sure, right? You got the Jets and the what are the other? What's the in the
Sharks and
the Sharks and the Jets?
Yeah,
right. You got the Sharks and the Jets
and West Side Story.
You know, and West Side Story. So what's the solution to that?
Tell us, please.
Well, it's
I need to know.
It's being grounded in what you want. What are we really trying to do? What are we about? She says, and I quote, "There is no miracle you cannot have when you desire healing."
Yeah.
So, do you want to spend your time managing things through space and taking care of objects and creating meaning and trying to create meaning in objects and form and getting everybody to agree with you, or are you going to choose a miracle that has the ability to heal? There is no miracle, she says, and I quote, "There is no miracle that can be given you unless you want it."
Wow.
That is how powerful we are.
That's the revelation. Because Tika wants a miracle. Look.
I know. Hi, Tika.
Arizona's cat, Tika. Yeah.
I know. So where we place meaning in form is where we become a slave to it.
Wow. And
she uses the word slave.
She did use that word.
If you place form in any shape or any condition above who you are and expressing who you are, if you're going to put the management of a form ahead of your self-expression, you are a slave to that form. If it's got to be a certain way, if I'm not happy until I weigh a certain amount, or if I'm not happy until somebody says magic words to me, or if I'm not happy until I get the car or get the apartment or whatever, then we're sunk. And I'm sunk right along with you, because I don't get to be a son of God with you. I'm another object that has to be dealt with. Right?
Yes. Thank you, Dylan.
Yeah. So there is no miracle you cannot have when you desire healing. The miracle, like I've said before, is a great editor.
Yeah.
Right. It takes what is unnecessary and points it out to you. And the miracle is you go, oh man, yeah, I'm going to change that. I'm going to let go of what doesn't work quickly.
Yeah.
When I find something that doesn't work, I'm going to let it go quickly. Right. When something hurts, when I hurt or I find suffering or I find my own ignorance, I'm going to say, thank you for the correction. Yeah. And move on. Lots of people have done this for me. Some brilliant women in my life have helped me understand what the female-bodied go through in this world that I will never have a chance to understand. Black people, immigrants, all kinds of people have shared with me how it is so that they can help me see within myself how I contribute to their suffering. See, that's the difference between what is real, dealing with what is real, versus trying to manage the causes. I don't want to learn special words. I want to learn how to access and live from what is real within me. Right? I want to learn who I am and share that with the world. Because I think learning how to dress and speak so that everybody knows that I love them is a useless journey. Because I don't think that's really very
it's not possible either. No, it's not possible.
No. So I am here and in this moment because I want to be aligned with the most creative force in the universe, which is what is real. So again, I ask you, what do you want? What do you want to participate in? What problems do you want to solve? What things do you want to be involved in? Managing the source, getting this, working with the source to create peace in the world, or trying to control and limit form in order to manipulate your feelings so that you don't feel so afraid. That's what the Course says. So choose again. See cause instead of effect. Choose to engage with the eternal reality, which is what doesn't change. The duck that made the bones, the bird that made the bones, the fire that doesn't go out, right? The oxygen that it's without limit. So, and I'm sure that you have excellent solutions if you work with the voice that likes you. Because remember, we've done this for 30 chapters. Remember that each of us contain the voice that likes us. And that voice will tell us that we're one, and we can even act like it. I'm Reverend Glenn Morton Ganaway, and you are at church with the 2 Drink Minimum.
Yay!
Yay! Play the song.
All right. Well, this is so cool because we're going to show you a clip. So the reason why, for those of you who may be new to our program, we call it Church with the 2 Drink Minimum because when we were doing our church live here in the city,
in the East Village,
we were doing it at the East Village at a bar called Sidewalk Cafe. So we're going
to okay, well, it's time to share a seasonal song that you will probably all know, but you've never heard it like this. Okay.
There's a theme.
There's a theme. Snow softly falls this silent solstice morning. All the green earth is blessed, pure and white. Bright the day shines, this silent solstice morning. On this brief day, the air is so light. The light is sacred and forever, even through the darkest, longest night. Soft it falls, the snow, the peace, the new light. Oh, silence divine that whispers His name. Oh, silence divine, oh, light divine. Earth in her sleep on silent solstice morning accepts the new sun's caressing sacred and forever, even through the darkest, longest night. Soft, soft it falls, the snow, the peace, the new light. Oh, silence divine that whispers his name. Oh, silence divine, oh light divine, soft, soft it falls, the snow, the peace, the new light. Oh, silence divine that whispers his name. Oh, silence divine, oh light divine. The return of the light, everybody.
Okay.
Yay.
Thank you so much.
We're
We're at
so
6
glad-
o'clock.
We are so glad that you are here.
Thank you. And we'll see you next week. We're going to stay for something genuine.
Or
Thank you.